Going live now. Mr. Steve Summers, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Hanging in there, man?
Yeah, hanging in there.
Where are we?
I'm pretty lucky.
Where are we tonight,
Pretty
man?
lucky. Sorry,
Where are we tonight?
I am at home in the place we call the Temple of Doon. We're in
Ooh.
Yandina Creek, and yeah, we're very lucky to be here in these isolated times, you know. So yeah,
Temple of
it's
Doon.
actually been, been doing so much gardening and creative, music making, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
really good.
I guess it's the season for it, isn't it? Like when you're kind of in these sort of isolated sort of situations here and being creative ourselves. You're kind of forced in that situation. Do you find it gets the juices flowing for you though?
Yeah, it's been well, yeah, trying to you know, diversify has been the biggest learning curve, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Moving online a lot and that sort of things. We're just trying to be creative in all aspects. Just making content because we can't get to our fans, so we've got to give them something.
Yeah. Does the whole band live together, or is it just a few of you together?
There's three of us that live here, and then we got the other two guys are in Urumba, so they're nice and close, and
All right, that's cool.
yeah, we just meet up when we can and abide by all the rules.
Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones that actually
So
gets to do that.
yeah, and like the Facebook Live thing on the weekend was just such a eye opener of what the industry is capable of, and it was. I think it's. I think we're going to be okay. Like
Yeah,
if shit doesn't hit the fan, I think we'll be okay.
yeah. I mean, I'm struggling now. Like, I haven't played with any of my bands for close to a month now. I think the last show I did was back on March 14th. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
it's a bit hard, but I think we make do and we
yeah,
keep ourselves busy. And like I've been lucky enough to go into the whole production realm, as you know. But
yeah.
yeah. All right, so we won't go too dark just yet. You guys have got an
Yeah.
album coming out on the 1st of May, which is sounds
Yes,
like it's named after your house.
pretty much. Yes. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the Porch Project before, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we live on that property, and
All right.
so yeah, that's kind of where the temple is, and we hope to continue like more events like Forge Project and other things like that. And as soon as all this stuff blows over, yeah, new album and amongst other things that might get made here. So we hope for more.
So do you do a lot of the actual sort of because you work at Yama Nui, right?
Yeah,
Have you stopped working at Yama Nui during this process, or are you still doing some work there?
a lot of work has cut back.
Yeah.
So sort of like I've got a few projects on the go that are just spilling over and sort of you know take what you can get sort of scenario and but again, diversifying, moving online, and trying to just reach out to not just the Australian scenes, but like all over the world, and
Yeah.
just try and network and bridge a few gaps, and yeah,
So
gain some work.
you guys the easiest way to explain it is sorry, I forgot to introduce the Dear Doonan boys. Sorry. Um,
Yeah,
you guys are, for lack of a better word, pretty freaking eclectic in style. So
yeah,
is your album just going to be like, because you've released Sweet Quiche, which is a sick little summary jam. I love that one, man. It was cool. And then you did a really dark one with How Do You See? Are you guys going to be sort of switching between those sort of modes or
yeah.
anything?
Like so, a lot of the album is instrumentally driven.
Yep.
The temple aspect of it is so first album was very westernized music styles, so country and blues and rock and roll and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This Temple of Doom album is more Eastern inspired, and Zachariah, our frontman, plays sitar and lute and like among other eclectic instruments, as you say, and then we're just combining all our loves of different genres and finding themes. And Temple of Doon's really mantric, and it's really genified, and it's very experimental in ways. And a lot of the entire album was pretty much recorded live, among some other overdubs and stuff like that. But
Right.
we just wanted the, inspiration that we took from the 60s and 70s psychedelia realm and have that live energy in it. And I think we have captured it. And, lyrically, it may not be as strong as the other album, but there's definitely other hooks to grab your attention.
Well, when I listened to Sweet Quiche, I thought it was probably one of the bravest things, and kind of geeking out a little bit as well, because the fact that there is no vocal hook in it. It's you're one of the rare bands that actually can get away with it, I think, right now. I mean, if like someone like a reggae band tried doing that, there's no way in hell it just wouldn't work. You need some kind of vocal hook, but you guys have managed to sort of escape that. Was that a deliberate thing?
We from the very start, we've sort of been very experimental and haven't really tied to a genre, and I guess we like the variety, and it keeps us entertained as well. Like, it's fun for us to just put like a big drop into it, or just switch it up completely, or add funk to metal, and it's just interesting.
So
and we'll keep finding new paths to follow.
Yeah, I mean, how hard is it to structure a song that's an instrumental with such a bit of a poppy, because there is a bit of a pop sensibility to it in a sense. How would you go about formulating that structure for it? Because there is no vocal hook to lean on or anything like that. So do you have certain cues, or how do you structure it, or how do you come up with it? Is it just from a jam?
Yeah, a lot of jams. We're all songwriters in our own way. Usually, one person will bring a hook to the table, or a riff, or a progression, or something, or lyrical content, and we just build on it. And there's our bass player is a phenomenal arranger, and he's quite quite crazy in his style, and can change it. So it took a long time to learn, structures. That's for sure. Like, it changes all the time still. Like, I don't think we've played the same Skull Shine ever. Like, it's different every time. We're actually talking about that the other day. We wanted to produce another video, maybe a live Skull Shine track, and just do it how it is nowadays, like the modern version of it, and see how it reacts.
So, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Going back to Sweet Quiche, the video you guys brought out for that, with was it Lily? That was
Lily.
Yeah, roller skating and that. Is that whose idea? Whose concept was that to come up with it? Because it was such a fun clip.
Oh, so Jamie and I were going for a surf one morning, and Lily was at the skate park just shredding.
Yeah.
And we're like, that would make a sick video clip. Just a babe shredding, in roller skates and to psychedelic music. And, like, she's been in the world for skating, so it's just,
it's totally,
talent finding.
Well, it's totally what I was not expecting. The Sweet Quiche, the actual song, given that I heard it before, and pardon me, matching it up with what Lily was doing, I was totally not expecting that. Yeah, so I really dug that.
Yeah, it's progressive in its own way,
Yeah. So if you, because you brought out How Do You See, which is like the darker one. What was there's a weird instrument that Zachariah in it.
Yeah, that's a lute. That's like I think it's baglama. It's a baglama lute.
That's a Turkish thing, isn't it?
Turkish lute, yeah. 8 strings. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's like a big egg-shaped body, and
so big
tiny little. yeah, kind of. Um, yeah, that was actually How Do You See was intended for the first album, and then because we were going to have an East-West album, and we decided to just do two separate albums.
Oh, okay.
So that was recorded last year actually, like actually over a year.
So it's one of the ones you dug out of the vault and put in.
Yeah, and there's another one that we've revived as well that was going to go on the first album.
So was it remixed a bit more? Was it changed the structure from the original version of it?
So How Do You See is the original version.
Okay.
It's just been mixed again, and the Druid's Raga, which is a song off the album, is another one that we've, it's evolved. The more we played it, it's evolved. So we re-recorded it. And,
cool.
Yeah.
So from a production standpoint, with so many like unusual instruments compared to your standard rock pop sort of, even roots sort of layout, what's your tactic to recording that sort of stuff?
We like to just go take by take live, just perform them as sets.
Yeah.
So Temple of Dune was recorded at Yama Nui. We just used the one live room, had like the array, so we had like the drum kit in the middle. We have this really cool technique of using the kick drum and having like a little guitar amp for the bass in front of that kick drum, and then we have like a mic getting the whole dominant low end in one go. So we got like a few little things there, and then a left and right image of the guitar amps, and then capturing the room.
Yep.
And then Zach would be isolated with his acoustic instruments.
Yep.
Like the sitar and stuff like that.
So that would be like so that obviously they wouldn't be inputs; they'd be sort of mic'd up. Is it a trickier sort of method to try and mic up these sort of like a lute or like a sitar?
No, like an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Like you would a guitar.
Okay.
Yeah. Just one nice mic, just facing at the hottest source, and yeah.
Because they've got some pretty far out frequencies, particularly like a sitar. So I can imagine like trying to balance that would be a bit of a bitch.
Yeah, there's some harshness to it.
Yeah.
But room by itself, with when it's not plugged in, it's beautiful. You start running it through pedals and amps, it's a bit more to maintain, but
I bet. I've always sort of like
it carries it.
It carries.
Yeah, it carries.
Because I've always being in the band that's got like a horn section or a trumpet player and that sort of stuff. You look at that and how it's done, and I've looked at the percussion how it's done. But yeah, I've always wanted like stranger stuff like sitars or like a lute or anything that's bizarre, like not standard. I've always tried to figure out how the hell you get around, like, because they do work on certain frequencies. They're not normal, so I can't imagine.
Sympathetic,
yeah.
No, it's like anything, man. Like, there's a stringed instrument, a waveform. You just capture that point, that nice point. Any string instrument.
Cool.
Same with pianos and stuff like that.
So there's no issues with it going. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be having to worry about going in phase with anything really, because it's its own thing, isn't it?
Well, you do, if you're using two mics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With like a vocal and a mic down towards the instrument, you can toy with phase a little bit.
All right. Learn something new every day with that sort of stuff. I'm still working my way around shit, dude.
I'm still learning, man. I think you'll learn all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you put a call out like at the end of the March, which is what I responded to when I had that chat with you. Like, any band sort of releasing themselves, because you wanted to see what we're doing to stay creative. What was the motive behind that? Are you trying to get a feeling as to what other people are doing, how they're approaching techniques?
And just kind of like seeing how people are maintaining and how people are kind of staying creative, because it's in my best interest to keep kind of any sort of momentum in the industry. And as a musician myself, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like we had a tour booked for this album and it's all gone now. So
in the same boat as the rest of us.
Yeah, dude. And so we're just, I think call outs like that are just trying to keep the network forming and
Mm.
just keep conversations going too. And
Is that,
you never.
have you begun to restructure your approach to particularly this release? And I mean, it's pretty brave to actually still go ahead and release a whole album in this time now where we can't tour to support our own works and that sort of stuff. So did you actually just think, oh, well, hang on a second, we should just maybe drop another single or something and not do a whole album?
Yeah, we kind of almost didn't even release the other two singles. Like we just wanted this album out for so long so we can just move on and go to the next thing.
Yeah.
But we've definitely had to rethink a lot of things about promoting and stuff like that. We've been creating clips non-stop, and you'll see a new one every few days, and just us really having fun and yeah, just trying to keep people engaged as well, because all we've kind of got for people to hear our music now is the online platforms, and we've just got to keep hammering the promotion side of it just to keep the streams coming in.
Yeah, because you guys,
even if,
sorry, you guys do the self promotion thing, don't you?
Yeah, it's all independent.
Yeah.
Everyone,
do you struggle with that at all?
I think we struggle more and just like motivating each other sometimes. But we all have really good skills and always everyone brings something to the table. So it's a good dynamic. We just got to kick each other's asses sometimes.
Yeah, keep each other sort of motivated and whatnot.
Yeah, that's it. It's a family.
Oh, that's cool. Have you So has anyone picked up any new skills in this sort of period that they're going to sort of start to adapt into how you guys get your music out or what you do?
Skills as in like...
Well, basically I've taught myself how to do a bloody podcast, really, so...
That's it, yeah. Well, we were actually thinking of the same thing, just talking absolute crap for no one, obviously, just for ourselves more than anything. Now, Jamie is really good with his videography, and we all kind of like quirky sort of comedic sort of things, and I think that's a bit of an approach at the moment, just like stupidity and just give a bit of entertainment back to the world, and just social media is going to be our best friends. Yeah. I reckon.
I mean, your Puff Puff Give clip was a classic with the giant joint sort of getting around Noosa and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
that was good fun.
Yeah. So
yeah, exactly. Not take it too seriously, but try and enjoy ourselves as much as possible. And
yeah.
I'm all for bands like having this persona and brand and stuff around them, but times are a little bit different now, and kind of got to really feed the audience and really like maintain our connection with them. And
yeah. So how
that's the biggest thing at the moment.
It's like, how serious can you actually get before you sort of have to switch and just go, screw it, we're just going to do whatever the hell we want to do. If we want to muck around with it. I think a lot of bands are going to start taking that approach soon.
Yeah.
A bit of madness involved.
Yeah, I guess it takes a global cross. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
the podcast is good, man.
Thanks, dude.
I like this whole idea.
It's just trying to bring people to sort of interesting musicians and that into light. There is, like, I keep on getting it teed up, and I mean, I work full time still. I'm one of the lucky ones that still actually has a job. So it's pretty crazy that I'm doing this and trying to finish the Mules album. And by the way, your tips too. I taught myself parallel compression.
Oh yeah. Bass and drums.
It did my head in, but yeah, I think I got it. I hope I got it. I don't know, man. But yeah.
If it sounds good, bro.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like I took on board what you said. for those that wouldn't know, because you wouldn't know, I sent a track through to Steve, because when he put that call out, I thought, you know what, I'll see what he thinks, and got some feedback. And this is what we should be doing. We should be giving each other feedback and that sort of stuff. It's actually really. I don't think you realize how much I actually appreciated that.
No, that's cool, man. Anytime.
So it did help, and so I understood what you were doing with seeing how everyone else's creative process is. I mean, it's the same thing. Like I check in on quite a few people to see how they're going, seeing what their approach is and how they're adapting. And yeah, I mean, teaching myself a new skill on how to produce music, it's not something I'd ever thought I'd be doing.
Yeah, me too, man. And now I'm addicted to it, you know.
You go down the rabbit hole pretty quick, huh?
You find yourself in holes, that's for sure. I've spent all night mixing tracks before, and then like just hated everything about it, you know.
Well,
I still cringe on tracks, yeah. Definitely.
Well, this is one thing I asked Brett from Double A, is like, because he does a lot of mixing of the Double A tracks as well. It's like, how do you know when to stop? Like, when is your point? When is your tipping point? You just go, you know what, and done. Stop. Yeah. I'm done with this track. This is it. I can't do any more on this, because if I go two more, I'm just gonna keep going, and I want to stop. How do you know that moment?
Oh man, you just answered it. you don't know.
You don't.
I have working with this band in Brisbane, and like we kind of did a similar recording process to the Temple of Doon album. We just did like a live engine room, and then overlaid vocals and like other, you know, kind of more sweet instruments like flutes and classical guitar and stuff like that. And it's, they did the vocals, and I was just so like blown away by the power and all this, amazing vocal tone and like range and everything they can do. And they're like, nah, we want to do it all again. Like, what? Like, this is mind-blowing music, and you guys want to do it all again? I'm like, fair enough. Like,
did they have something in mind as to what they wanted it to sound like?
They're kind of new to the studio side of things, okay. But when they play live, they have like, the main vocalist goes from sounding like Bjork to like, African tribal goddess lady, and it just, wow. She's just got this huge range and just really feels moments and like diversifies, like it gives this whole interest to these sections, and it just changes and changes and changes and changes. It's like Carnival meets Bjork meets Sigur Rós. What? Yeah, it's just like insane music. And they're like not happy with the vocals. I'm like, fuck. Like, how? Like, when do you stop, man? Like,
So, but because you were tracking this live, right? Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, would there be a chance to just get them to do the instrumental live and then just redub the vocals?
No. So they've overdubbed lead vocals and stuff. So
right.
It's just fun. They want to redo.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But it's no problem. I'm just like, like you were saying before. It's like, when do you stop?
Yeah.
When is something finished? You never know. You think something sounds good, and someone else will have a whole different story.
Yeah, I mean, either, or you'll hear something in another song, just going, you know what, I want to steal that idea and stick it into my song and see if that works. But then you're going, oh shit, that's gonna overcook it. Or yeah.
Same thing for sound, man. Like, dialing in tones. You're just pulling inspiration from everything you've ever heard, and something will click.
So if you had a chance, which kind of band would you want to work with like next, apart from your own, obviously?
Kikagaku Moye would be awesome. I don't know if you know Kikagaku Moye.
No.
Japanese rock band.
Cool.
You should get onto them.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few Brizzy local acts. Band from Perth called Koi Child. Love to work with them.
What style?
Yeah. It's like jazz, hip hop, fusion. kind of thing. That stuff.
Jazz is a tricky one to try and mix, though, isn't it?
Mix.
Yeah,
It's just about performance.
because
Mixing's easy if the performance is right, man. Like
true.
it just falls together, you know.
Because I always just thought with and what I learned in the short time I've been learning stuff, because most of the music that is produced these days, like ourselves and that, there's still quite a lot of bass and drums heavy to it, whereas jazz doesn't rely too much, particularly on say like kick. It's more to do with the accents and the hi hats and the snare, and it's a different way of mixing.
Yeah, improvisation, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really do that to grid though, huh?
No. There's no quantizing, man.
No.
Like with the live stuff, like I'm not quantizing. I'll fix a few things here and there, but I want the performance to be, you know, that's the feel.
Yeah. So
you
guys play do you play to click though?
No.
No. Wow.
We just practice the shit out of it until we feel like it's ready, and then we'll go and do 3 takes. And like if when editing, you know, you do 3 takes of one song. Because of a lot of our music's in sections, we can kind of replace a section. Okay. You know? But, yeah, if we try and replace, you know, guitar sections, and it's because we got the room mics, it's capturing all the room sound anyway, so the live, the feel just goes out the door then.
Yeah.
It starts sounding.
Well, that's a very 60s and 70s approach though, really, isn't it? Before things got like too Pink Floydish and whatnot, and so many tracks and whatnot. You're doing the whole live element. So I've always liked the live element myself, particularly for a rock aspect. I always felt like if you're playing to click, you're kind of losing the humanity.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's just, I feel you. I'm not a fan. Like all that overdubbing, you know, track by track recording. Yeah, by all means, do a click track. Align it to grid. That's why you do it. But you know, if it's a band and it's like dynamic movements between sections and like modal changes and stuff like that, then do it live. You know. Yeah. Capture like taking a photograph. You know, just capture it.
And you got no qualms with sticking some overdubs in, like extra instrumentation with in there, but keep the natural vibe of it. So that's one thing I kind of wanted to do with Mules, but it's just bloody hard, particularly given that I'm recording it too. So
even try it's about like try and position the room, like get some nice symmetry and have your drums kind of in the middle, have your bass like right next to the kick in line, everything in line, you know, like like you're sitting up on a stage playing out.
Yep.
And then you have all your mics, everything will be in phase, and then you get like a room pair pointing left and right up the top, and that'll capture like you're mixing with the room then, you know.
Would you DI the bass at the same time though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it through into your little bass amp. Have it gritty so it doesn't fill the room with a lot of bass, like subbiness.
Yeah.
Have it like gritty, sort of high end tone, like guitar amp. And then run your bass DI.
So you get the deep and put those two in the phase, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And you would you overdub the vocals though?
Yeah. Yeah. Depends on the band as well. Depends on the band. Like, for us, it's just easy to overdub live because we can't sing in tune. So.
That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Or like, what if you stuff up a line or anything like that? Would there be any bleed from the vocals though, or do you have the vocals sort of isolated in another booth to still keep that live element? But
so like, man, you can get that live feel just on tracking drums and bass live, you know, or drums and guitar, you know, like it can be still that you can still have that feel, but we just separated Zach, and he would sing the lead parts, and then we'd overdub backing vocals and stuff later. You know, like the 60s and 70s, everyone around one mic and just chanting.
Yeah.
It's very minimal. It's a very minimal, you know, vocal album. So it was so quick for us to do the vocals. You know.
Check it out.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So
there's there's a lot of options to it, man, and you can. At the end of the day, it's just making sure you set up, you know, set the sound up right, so you have to do less in the box later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The only
Like,
sort of downside to it, I mean, like you would get bleed from all the other instruments into the other tracks, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to be careful with your editing, which you do minimal of, but there's no chance of like being able to use a remix or anything like that in a sense either, would there?
Well, it's not to a grid. You'd be able to sample it.
Yeah.
Definitely be able to sample it, like a drum break or something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like bleed. If like that's why you kind of have that setup, almost like everything in line: guitar amps, bass amp, kick drum, everything in that
Yep.
one line, and then all your room mics and everything are pointing to the snare, which is the loudest thing in the room. So it's like a focal point almost.
Mm-hmm.
And the bleed becomes part of the reverberance of the room, like the bleed is the live feel. It's you dancing in the room and moving that air around you, like that's part of the live. So the more room mics, the better, I reckon. Close miking and then a few room mics that will be a nice balance in that room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Head's just exploded.
Draw you a little.
Yeah, don't feel it too much with the info. That I've only still got my head around what I do now. So yeah, now I've got ideas to do stuff live. Damn it, I don't need that.
Nah, hit me up with your questions, man. That's it.
Yeah. So is anyone else because do the boys let you sort of have free reign when it comes to the production aspect of it, or everyone has an input?
Everyone's got an input.
Yep.
I kind of learnt that the hard way. Being a guitarist, guitars are gonna be loud. But
that's why I got rid of the guitarists and mules, man. There's no guitars in my band.
I'm in the ass once upon a time too. But no, it's really good having everyone's input. Like everyone's got a catalogue of music in their brains, and it's all different. And having that versatility in the five of us is what brings kind of this uniqueness to our sound, I suppose. Like we all have these ideas of what we want to sound like, and kind of just merges together. So everyone has input, definitely.
Is there any sort of like disagreements or anything like that? How like a track comes out and you sort of done a mix of it, and like majority of you going, yeah, this is cool, and then one person's just gone, what? No. Does that happen? Yeah.
Yeah. I Puff Puff Give was the second recording we did of it.
Oh,
First one gone. It was done. What else did we record? She'll Be Back off the first album was the second recording, and yeah. So there's been a few that we've just decided like we didn't nail that, so.
So that's the only reason you just didn't nail it. So it wasn't kind of like.
Yeah, like I'll have a few goes at it. Sometimes it's poorly recorded or something like that. But majority of the time it can be fixed in the mix, and we come to an agreement. We all know that it's a lot of the performance related stuff is our own fault, so we have to kind of deal with that on our own front.
I'm gonna bring the artwork up. You won't see it from your end, but I'll bring it up on here. Who did the artwork for the album?
Temple of Doon.
Yeah.
Murphy Campbell. He's a tattoo artist at White Tiger.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal artist. Good friend of ours. And it took him back and forth like the mixes. Everyone had to be happy. Yeah. But yeah, no, we're stoked with it.
It's usually the way, man. I do all the art. Well, I used to do all the artwork for like Barefoot, and I do all the artwork for Mules and that. So, but most of the time, I usually go with Mules. I usually go, yeah, you like it. If you don't, too bad, because this is what it's gonna be. Whereas Barefoot's usually a lot of back and forth.
That's
doing art's a different thing.
Yeah, no, I feel ya. we're all artistic, you know. We've just, you know, with this downtime, we've all started drawing again and stuff like that. But yeah, we're just lucky we got so many talented friends, you know.
Should start doing some animation, man.
We have been thinking about that. We've got there's actually a track that's kind of formed into, or two tracks that are kind of formed into one on the album. They're called Huddy and Harido, and they're both made up words.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's this full Eastern disco and then metal journey. Like, it's just 15 minutes of progression, you know, like, and we want to get an animator on board to do something really cool and trippy to that.
Some stop motion shit.
Take it, yeah, just like a whole visual journey on its own, just for, you know, that side, the whole audience on the visual side.
We'll just go to heavy psychedelia. I mean, you guys are already there as it is anyway.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do something, man. It's a little bit beyond our skill sets though, but
No, you got time to learn.
yeah, we got time. That's the truth. Yeah, we're taking on too many, man. We've been gardening flat out and
growing stuff.
growing stuff, and, you know, veggies, and trying to just be a bit more sustainable, and projects.
Do you guys sing to your plants?
It's good. Yeah, yeah, we did a Facebook Live for them. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Wicked.
I think the tomatoes grew a bit.
Get some sweet sort of more recipes happening.
Yeah, we can come up with.
Cool, man. Well, this has just been over 36 minutes or so. That's been a pretty cool chat, man.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Reese. I appreciate that.
My
man.
pleasure. So
It's awesome.
Sorry?
It's awesome this is happening, you know, something on the coast, and it's good to see, man.
Like I said, I've been meaning to do it for a long time. Just took me a bit of a kick in the bum with isolation and whatnot to get things moving, I guess. So Temple of Doon comes out on May 1st.
Yes.
And through all the normal streaming platforms and whatnot.
All over online.
Can you pre-order it? Ooh,
No.
tricky question.
Yeah, that's something we might have to think about, actually. Yeah. No, it'll just be up on all the platforms, and you know, hopefully we'll have some vinyl and some more merch for you guys soon too.
Oh, vinyl. Yes.
Yeah. That's just been our goal in life, you know. We just want a record with our names on it. And
yep. Know that feeling. Know that feeling.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Barefoot's putting one together, so yeah.
I think Paulie's been working on that one, yeah?
Sorry?
Has Paulie been working on that one?
Yeah, man, that's definitely Paulie B and Asher as well, but it's definitely got Paulie B's magic touch all over. You've heard most of it, obviously, being Yama Nui there.
Yeah.
I know there is a remix in there of one of the songs as a dub mix, but I personally have not heard it. So I just know it's there somewhere. And
if I hear it, I'll let you know.
You'll hear it before me. All right, man. I'll put some links down the bottom in the description of the actual video. Thanks for the chat, Steve. I really appreciate it. Hey.
Thank you so much, Reese. We'll chat soon, man.
Yeah, man.
Take it easy.
You too, bruv.